Hello and welcome to a new episode of Discover Daily, the AI-generated podcast curated by Perplexity to satisfy your curiosity about the latest in tech, science, and culture. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're exploring a resilient moss with potential for Mars terraforming, the evolution of competitive eating, a chance meeting that shaped the tech industry, and the surprising history of toxic green pigments. First, let's discuss the moss Syntrichia caninervis, which has shown remarkable resilience to conditions similar to those on Mars. This tiny plant can withstand extreme temperatures, gamma radiation, and lose over 98% of its water content, rapidly recovering upon rehydration. Scientists call this process drying without dying. The moss employs several adaptations to survive extreme conditions, including twisted leaves that minimize water loss and provide protection from intense UV radiation. When stressed, it enters a state of selective metabolic dormancy, preserving essential metabolites for rapid recovery. Syntrichia caninervis could potentially enhance Martian soil by improving water retention, structural stability, and nutritional content through nitrogen and carbon fixation. It could also create a more hospitable environment for other plants, facilitating oxygen production and supporting broader ecological processes necessary for sustainable human habitats. Moving on to competitive eating, this unusual sport has roots extending back to the 17th century. The 19th century saw it become more organized in North America, with the first recorded pie-eating contest occurring in Toronto in 1878. By the turn of the century, these contests had become symbolic of Americana, often held at county fairs. The 20th century brought significant milestones, including Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest on Coney Island and unique events like the 1919 pasta eating contest between a New York Yankees outfielder and an ostrich. The late 1990s marked a turning point with the establishment of Major League Eating, which transformed competitive eating into a professional sport with standardized rules and safety guidelines. Today, events like Nathan's hot dog eating contest draw large crowds and millions of television viewers, symbolizing American excess and competition. Our third story takes us to the tech world. In 1997, during a trip to China, Jerry Yang, co-founder of Yahoo, met Jack Ma, who served as his translator. This chance encounter at the Great Wall of China laid the groundwork for a pivotal $1 billion investment by Yahoo in Alibaba in 2005. At the time, China had only about 7 million internet users, making their discussions about the web's potential particularly forward-thinking. In August 2005, Yahoo secured a 40% ownership stake in Alibaba, a strategic move driven by Yang's recognition of Alibaba's potential and Yahoo's struggle to penetrate the Chinese market independently. This investment proved transformative for both companies. When Alibaba went public in 2014, it marked the largest tech IPO in history, raising nearly $22 billion. Yahoo's stake brought substantial financial gains, highlighting the power of well-timed investments and strategic partnerships. Our final story reveals the paradoxical history of green pigments. Often associated with nature and eco-friendliness, many green pigments have a toxic past and present. Historically, pigments like Scheele's green and Paris green, containing arsenic, were widely used but caused severe health issues and even deaths. These pigments led to numerous cases of poisoning. In 1861, a 19-year-old artificial flower maker died from arsenic poisoning after dusting foliage with Scheele's green. Some historians even believe Napoleon Bonaparte's death was caused by arsenic vapors from his bedroom's green wallpaper. Despite modern advancements, many green pigments still pose significant health and environmental risks. Pigment green 7, commonly used in plastics and paper, contains chlorine, which can cause cancer and birth defects. Pigment green 36 includes hazardous bromide atoms and chlorine, while pigment green 50 is a harmful blend of cobalt, titanium, nickel, and zinc oxide. These modern pigments not only pose direct health risks, but also complicate recycling processes as their toxic components can contaminate other materials. This ongoing challenge underscores the complexity of producing safe and sustainable green hues. That concludes today's episode of Discover Daily. Thank you for listening. If you found these stories interesting, consider subscribing to Discover Daily on your preferred podcast platform. For more information, check the episode description for links to each story. To continue learning about anything and everything, download the Perplexity app on Android or iOS. We'll return tomorrow with more stories from the worlds of tech, science, and culture. Until then, stay curious.